Good morning. I hope that you are all doing wonderfully today. I'm doing great because I have a cup of coffee and I have the tastiest piece of Papageiekuchen. I don't know if I ever ate this when I was a child, but I know here in Germany it is an extremely popular cake that children love. And let me just tell you, if you live in Germany, Rewe makes the best Papageiekuchen ever. It's so good. So I'm going to set that aside, take a nice sip of my hot coffee before it gets cold, because are any of you like myself and you have a few sips of warm coffee, forget it, and then remember it's there and drink it and it is ice cold. I do have a coffee warmer though. I don't always remember to use it. Welcome everyone. My name is Molly and I am the owner of a homespun house. I hand dye yarn. Here's some of the yarn that I dye. There's so much more. It's so much fun. I hand dye yarn. I love to knit. I like to make things, and this is my space where I love to come and chat with you all about all of the things that I've been making. And then just other kind of random little things that pop up as I converse. So let me just set down my coffee and pop out of screen. I have been working on some fun things lately. And the first thing that I'm going to share with you all is a pair of socks that I'm knitting. I think I shared these with you last time that I filmed a podcast, and that is my Regia Perfect socks. Let's see what number this is. This is color number 09092. This is a sock by Arne and Carlos. They designed it for Regia, and I'm knitting these for my dad. So I think these are kind of perfect colors for my dad. I know he likes a lot of greens and blues and other colors too, but I always think of my dad with purple and orange. Yeah, those are the colors that make me think of my dad. Purple grape popsicles. He always used to be his favorite when I was little. Anyway, totally, that's what I said. Whatever comes into conversation. So here is the first one, all finished. I loved the way that this knit up. I do think it is strange how the Perfect socks can have such a large toe, but I also understand the reasoning for that there are people who have a size American 6 foot or a smaller foot where you need to have the contrast colors start quite early. So if you're knitting a larger size foot, I don't even know what size my dad wears, but I've knit socks for him and I know the centimeters that I need to knit to have the sock fit him. So here is my dad's sock number 1. I'm at sock number 2. And I am just about to be at this section, I believe. Yeah, where I just have to knit the red. I have a teeny bit more of this really pretty blue-gray color. And then I'm getting to the red. I love Regia yarn. I know it is so much more scratchy than a lot of yarns that you get from indie yarn dyers. A lot of the yarns that I dye on are really soft, fine quality, low micron count merinos. And I absolutely love Regia's yarn. As I just said, I like the durability of it. I do like the feel of it, that it's a little bit more rustic. I adore it. And we have a base that is pretty much similar to this that I'm going to start dyeing for the shop. And I can't wait. I've already knit a sample pair of socks out of it. And I've worn them quite a lot, and they are wonderful, so wonderful. So once we start dyeing more sock sets for the shop, you'll be seeing the plump merino, which is how we dye most of our sock sets, and then this woolly sock yarn as a sock set. So I hope that you guys are excited about that, because if you like Regia yarns as much as I do and a very durable sock, and you are wishing that you could find more hand-dyed yarns on a really good quality superwash wool yarn, think you'll love the base that we're going to start offering in our shop. These are really fun to work on. They knit up so quickly just because it has all of that constant change up in it. And I am thoroughly enjoying knitting on those socks. I do have 3 pairs of socks to share with you guys today. First sock that I have to share with you all is the Clementine sock pattern. This is a sock pattern by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. She recently came out with this one, and I just think it's such a pretty pattern. It kind of looks like little teeny flowers on the sock. So pretty. And this one is knit up using our Sugared Sweeties sock set. A really fun, vibrant color with teeny tiny little speckles. I think this one just looks great with jeans. It's a really fun pop of color with our Jello tonal at the top and used throughout the sock. So this one is a really fun, wearable but still poppy kind of sock pattern. This one's probably my favorite. It is our Farmer's Market sock set or colorway. All of our colorways we have available as sock sets, paired as how I'm showing you, and then available in single skeins. If you want to make a shawl, just a pair of socks without the contrast color, a sweater, all of it. So I'm sharing with you how they look knit up in a sock set. So this is Tracy Miller from the Grocery Girls. This is her Coffee Talk sock pattern. And this is one of my favorite sock patterns I've seen in a while. I think it is so much fun knit up. I love that you can always have a stockinette panel throughout the sock. I think that's really nice. And then you have this patterning on the front of the sock. I think it's a really cool effect and shows off the yarn really nicely, especially if you have a highly speckled yarn or a very variegated yarn. This is a pattern that you could use for something like that, in my opinion. So this is our Farmer's Market colorway. It's a really fun spring, summer color palette, I think. I love peaches. I love minty greens. And this set just makes me very happy and excited for spring and summer and farmers markets and cooking and making fresh salads and soups and things like that. This next one is really fun, and I am so excited by it because pretty much when I started a homespun house 10 years ago this October, how insane is that? How insane is that? Okay, I need to just sip that down with a sip of coffee. Still warm. As soon as I opened up a homespun house, I pretty quickly started dyeing up Harry Potter themed yarns, Harry Potter themed yarn clubs, Harry Potter themed kits. I thoroughly enjoy all things Harry Potter. I love the stories. It's my favorite world to get lost into. I love Harry Potter. And so I had many, many Harry Potter colorways in the shop for quite a long time. And now I kind of have a vault collection that I bring back every other year. And it might be in the form of a full-on minis collection of those colors. It might be in the form of a pre-order where you can get whatever you want in those colors. But as of now, I don't have any Harry Potter color in the shop until Avada Kedavra. So this is our current Harry Potter inspired yarn. And this is knit up using Dana Ray's Hearth sock pattern. This is another one that I've shown before. It's another one of my favorite patterns. You could use it for any highly speckled variegated yarn, again, which I love. And I think it's such a fun pattern. And it's absolutely beautiful, thoroughly effective. And I think all of you would agree. It's a very, very pretty pattern. So this again is the prettiest, most perfect shade of green with really fun speckles. They're not everywhere, but when you see the yarn in person, you definitely see the speckles and know that they're there. So I love this sock set. It comes with marigold and twig. And I love these. I love these so much. I think all of these colors, this one screams kind of any season, but I don't know, there's something special about having a Harry Potter themed skein of yarn on your needles. I just love it. If I'm not reading the books, it's fun to be able to knit with the yarn or do something associated with Harry Potter. Do I have any other Harry Potter fans out there? I would love to know. And I asked on Instagram, what house are you guys in? I'm so curious. And what house do you guess I'm in? I'm also very curious about that. I don't know if I've ever shared that before, but I would love to know what house you guys guess I'm in. That would be really fun, as well as what house you guys are in. That would be exciting to know as well. Some other things that I have been knitting on are those little ornaments by Pia Kamabon that I spoke about last time as well. I do have one halfway, much more than halfway, almost finished. And here it is. These are so sweet. I have a little piece of yellow yarn in here from my Regia Perfect socks. I took off a little piece, and that's where I'll be making the thumb. Now I know it's an ornament, but the thumb is optional. You don't have to do it, as it is quite fiddly. The thumb is optional, but I think it's such a nice feature to the pattern that I decided I'm going to knit a thumb in. And the thumb is knit using the colorwork pattern, so very tedious. That teeny tiny thumb. Same with this. This is a small colorwork mitt. And I'm knitting them using 0 double points. Oh, and this one I knit up using Fern, and it's all non-superwash fingering weight yarn. It would be so fun to do little kits for this, but I don't have, nor can I get my hands on any non-superwash mini skeins. Yeah, we could do it on superwash yarn. That would work as well. But these are very, very sweet. Aren't they so cute? So Fern and Fresh Sheets. And then the next one, those are my eldest daughter's favorite colors. And then this is for my youngest. Her favorite color is Jello, which you would have seen in the Sugared Sweeties sock set. And Fresh Sheets as well. Fresh Sheets is just the perfect color for color work. It works great. It's a really nice contrast with most colors. So I did end up figuring out how to do the Latvian braid. It is so simple. It was just something that I didn't know how to do last time, and I'm happy that I do know how to do it. It's a very pretty, effective, decorative thing you can add to a pattern, and I really love it on these. So I do get in phases where I really enjoy knitting something over and over and over, but I don't know if it's one of these. And also there are so many things I want to knit right now. Have you guys seen the new Lucia and Friends book that Lina came out with? We had some kits for it in the shop, and I'm going to be putting up some more kits with the book in it. It'll be the final kits offering this book. And I really want to knit some of the stuffies from that book. Why and for what purpose? I don't really have a why or a what purpose. Well, I do. I love the way that those animals look. I think they're so cute. I love that you can dress them up. Also, Yana from Ketu Knits, just watching her with her little Franny. I know it's not from the book, although she has now since knit a sheep from the book. I love watching her little Franny, a frog that she's knit, dress up, play around, just fun little photographs that she's taken of this frog. I want to say childlike heart, but I would hope that we all have that child wonder and imaginative curiosity inside of us. So my heart really wants to knit some sort of animal. I don't want it to be a person or a doll that's human-like, and make clothes for it and dress it up. And I don't know, that seems like a lot of fun. While I'm saying this, I'm realizing that I do not have the skirt that I knit for Ruby's doll, nor the hat that I knit for Ruby's doll, nor her finished pair of leg warmers. The skirt and the hat are somewhere upstairs where I have no idea. And the leg warmers, her older sister is actually wearing. So I do not have those to share with you. I am sorry about that. But I do love knitting these teeny tiny mittens. I'm having a lot of fun with them. And it always feels so good to have Advent gifts finished early. And that's the purpose for these. I haven't mentioned that yet in this episode, but I do knit 4 Advent gifts for my children every year. And I like to have them done early. It's usually a pair of socks, an ornament, might be a pair of leg warmers or hand warmers, something like that. And then the 4th is either something that my husband, Robert, will make for them, or I will. It's kind of like a surprise bonus kind of gift. So the final thing that I am knitting on is the shawl that I kind of talked about last episode, and I'm in the middle of a row. So I am knitting this out of our favorite book colorway. It's a really pretty sorbet peachy orange, and I'm knitting it alongside with blackberry jam, a really deep aubergine kind of eggplant purple. And I am knitting this up using a pattern that I designed I honestly have no idea, 7 years ago, I would guess. I have knit quite a few of these shawls, and I have the pattern written. I just need to photograph it, and I don't know what's holding me back about that. I have a lot of patterns that are written up, and I have no photograph for them. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. So this is my alpine shawl pattern. I hope that this is one that will come out at some point. At some point. And this one I'm knitting up for my dad. He and my mom came to visit last month. They were here for 2 weeks. It was really wonderful. And my dad doesn't have that much knitwear. I think he might have 3 pair of socks, a pair of hand warmers, a hat that my sister knit him. And he really liked the alpine shawl that Robert wears a lot, and he even wore it a few times. So I pulled him down in my studio and I said, pick out colors for an alpine shawl. And we chose together what I just shared with you all. Favorite book, yarn, and blackberry jam. I told you guys, orange and purple for my dad. And then I'm going to knit him up a hat using our blackberry jam colorway. He mentioned that he would really like a fingering weight cap. He has a few DK weight hats, and he would like something that's really light. So yeah, I'm really enjoying knitting this. And I have the sweetest progress keeper made by my oldest daughter. I think she must have made this when she was 7, 6 or 7. It's a woman, and she's holding her baby. Very sweet. So I love that. And she likes to make progress keepers and things like that. And this is a very old one because she's much older now. But she always plays with wanting to make progress keepers for kits for my shop. And she's pretty good at it. So maybe we'll have to do a collaboration at some point with her. Oh, and there's one more thing that I wanted to share with you. My little girls both knit and embroider, cross stitch, weave. They all have the tools and knowledge of knowing how to do those sorts of things. And my youngest asked me if she could work on an embroidery. So I pulled out some of my linen and I said, draw a picture, any picture, and I'll grab out my leftovers of yarn just our soft sock base. So it's crewel, not embroidery with cotton. They're using wool. And you can embroider a photo. So she drew SpongeBob, Patrick, jellyfish hunting. And in SpongeBob, they have flowers for clouds. So that's the beginning of her embroidery. I love it. I think it's amazing. And then I asked her, could you draw something that I could embroider? Because my children like it. It doesn't matter if they're coloring and I'm knitting. They like me to be doing the activity that they're doing. It's more of a bonding experience for them. That's how they see it and feel it. And so Ruby was working on her embroidery and she's like, can't you embroider too? And so that's how I said, could you then draw me a picture? I don't want to embroider just anything. I'd like to embroider something that you have drawn. That makes it a lot more fun for me than embroidering something somebody has designed themselves. It just made it more special and enjoyable. So she drew me this photo. It's kind of hard to see because I'm using a small hoop. I just like to embroider that way. Of a tree. There's a little garden gnome here, who she's named. I cannot remember what his name is. Mushroom. There's lots of moss on the tree. Here's a fairy. Here's another fairy. And the sun. Oh, and the sun here is holding sunscreen, so I'll have to figure out what colors I'm going to do that. So this is so enjoyable. I'm really enjoying it. It's something that I'm going to pick up sparingly. It's probably a project that will take a while. Who knows? Maybe I'll take it with us to our bungalow in the summer. I never plan out what sort of projects I'm going to be doing in the future. It's kind of, I fly by the seat of my pants. So it's very possible that I might not be doing a lot of knitting in the summer, but also not the most possible. Because as I said, all I want to do is knit and I'm so inspired and there are so many things I want to cast on. But I do think that's one thing that I will be taking with me and working on. Because I'm using fingering weight yarn, this is just a pretty quick project. One thing that holds me back a bit though is I'm only using scraps. And I don't have a ton of scraps in our soft sock base. So I don't have a lot of color possibility. And that makes me fully aware that the colors of these yarns maybe aren't going to collectively go that well together. So I don't know. I really have to give that a thought, how I do that, because right now what I have in my leftover stash is a lot of very, very bright, cold toned colors. So yes, which you can see from this one. This is like all neons. And this one. I feel like the Copper Kiss pairs a little strangely with our Ditzy and Chamomile colorway. It's just a really special project to put into rotation of what I'm working on right now. So we've been spending the last couple of days at our bungalow. And it is coming along so wonderfully. Almost all of the flower beds have been replanted with perennials. I've stripped every bed of pretty much everything that it's had in it. And just put in flowers that I love, flowers that make me happy. There's a lot of bean. Bees are called Bienen in German, so I wanted to say Bienen friendly. There's a lot of bee friendly and butterfly friendly flowers in our garden. Everything is very, very small right now, so I can't wait to see it once it starts popping up and really blooming, and I'm very excited about that. This weekend, or this upcoming week, is the week that I'm going to be selecting all of the final furniture for the living space of our bungalow. So that is very, very exciting. And I'm hoping that in a month we will be sleeping in our bungalow. It still will need work. This summer we will be constantly working on our bungalow, and I think next year we will be as well. And I think that's okay. We've made such a huge transition with this bungalow, to completely ripping out the floors, to dirt, to putting in all of the walls, putting in new floor, turning a shed into a kitchen. We're vlogging all of this on Patreon. So if you guys are interested and it's like, what are you talking about? You can go ahead back and look. Last June is when we actually purchased this bungalow. So very, very exciting. Yeah, very, very exciting. We have a lot of sun coming this next week ahead, sun as in sunny weather, which I'm very excited about. And I just have lots of time planned outside, knitting, working in the garden, working on cleaning up the bungalow, and just enjoying our time together. It was great chatting with all of you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, and I cannot wait to chat with you again. Bye.